All right, what is up? Welcome to Game Night Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Hofflich, and joined with me in the party chat is Andrew, Mr. Xbox of Game Night Hofflich. What's up? How you doing, Andrew?
Man, I am fantastic, Holmes. How are you?
Well, we just got finished watching, or not just got finished. Yesterday was the Xbox Game Showcase, and I gotta say, I am walking away quite disappointed. Andrew is walking away. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good after seeing it, we'll dive into this more. I know why you may feel a little disappointed, but I think for Xbox it was actually a very good showing.
Okay. All right, Holmes. Let's go. It's just me and you, man. It's just you and me today. Let's go. Let's get into this, okay? Because I was hesitant on doing this kind of podcast just because I kind of want game night to be upbeat, hype. Let's go, be excited. I don't want, if I don't have anything positive to say, then I don't really want to say it. But hey, it's also important to give honest reviews and honest opinions, and that's what we're going to do today. Yeah, so this game showcase was not good at all. All right, so first of all, we can start off my overall impressions of this. I can sum it up into this one compact sentence. Here we go. You ready? It might even be more than one sentence. We'll see. All right. Here we go. They made a mistake during the earlier in the year with their games reveal for the Series X. That mistake, this is already more than one sentence. That mistake was not showing any gameplay.
Yes.
They turn around and do the same exact thing. They showed gameplay, granted, for a total of we'll make sure we get the facts straight, but I'm pretty sure it was a total of 3 games. I think there might be more, but on the sticks gameplay, only Halo Infinite. The rest were just gameplay mixed into trailers.
Right. Now, in the defense of that statement you just made, the what was it called? The gameplay reveal or whatever a couple months ago, that was actually labeled as first Series X gameplay, and yeah, they dropped the ball on that because there was no gameplay. I mean, we saw some Series X games, but no gameplay. This one was actually just branded as Xbox Games Showcase. So they were smart on putting it as that. So I was kind of expecting some more gameplay than they showed, but I was expecting a lot of just games and trailers because that's what Xbox needs. And what did they show? God, they showed a crap ton of games. I don't even know the exact number, but they showed a lot of games.
I got it. I got it here.
Yeah, they might actually showed more games than PlayStation. But they, gameplay wise, PlayStation showed more gameplay. Absolutely. I mean,
well, for this podcast,
the show was
right. Yeah, for this podcast, we're going to start with our review, and then we're going to do PS5 Game Showcase versus the Xbox Game Showcase, and
right.
we're going to go back and forth between, like just beat for beat and see where we're at. Okay, but for Xbox, we're going to focus on this review first. Yeah, I mean, first thing they showed was Halo Infinite right off the bat. For Halo Infinite, for me, this game obviously looked like it was made for Xbox One, and then it was optimized for Series X. It is not the game that you want to showcase for your next gen hardware, but this is their big flagship game, and it looked. And I almost want to say, like for an Xbox One game, it looked bad. You know what I mean? Like for an Xbox One game, this game did not look good. Halo 5 probably looked better, and I don't have a side by side screenshot of that, but I'm pretty sure Halo 5 looked better. But I see what they were going for here. They're going for that nostalgia factor. They nailed it. Like they nailed the nostalgia factor. Like this game looks, feels, plays, everything about it looks like Halo Combat Evolved. It
Halo
looks
One,
like somebody said, we're going to remake or remaster Halo 1. And this is what we're getting. It just feels like a remaster. Whereas in like when you go into it, you're excited about it because you can't wait to play it again with a fresh coat of paint. But it's not revolutionary. It's just nostalgia, and the nostalgia factor only lasts for a little while, unless if you're hardcore into Halo, of course. Like I don't know, but it's not even like a. It feels like that, you know. It feels like that nostalgia factor will be hit. You're cool with it, but it's just not groundbreaking, and it's not the Series X, like it's not showcasing that Series X potential. And yeah, that's just graphics alone. I will say that I did appreciate the little bit of story that we were shown. Like I appreciated how it's back to kind of you're the space marine, you're master chief. You have the human character, and everything was they're kind of bouncing back off of each other, and that was really cool. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the simplicity kind of the story, but also just it has heart again. It feels like rather than just drama. So I appreciated that.
yeah, I agree. I mean, we started watching the showcase together online, and yeah, our faces, we just looked at it as it like I said, it didn't even. I don't even know if it looks as good as Halo 5 visually.
we
But as soon
we
as the
started
game
it and like as soon as that thing dropped out, we're like, oh yeah, this looks good.
looks all right.
And then neither one of us talked for a while because we were both thinking it like, oh, oof.
Yeah, I'll get to my like I'll focus on the game right at hand right now because my whole wrap on the showcase
Oh yeah, go
will
ahead, man.
kind of put everything together. But as far as Halo Infinite being shown and as a flagship game for the Series X for a launch title, the game you can tell Microsoft wants this console to come out this year, and they told that the game needs to be there. Halo has to be there because
Yeah,
that's what it looked like. I really was expecting as soon as the showcase to start. I really thought Halo was going to be visually top notch. I mean, beautiful.
right.
It was not. And and then they come out afterwards and say ray tracing update later. Like that right there tells you. And now they said there's a rumor that the beta that the planned beta is not going to happen. I mean that's enough to tell you that the game is not ready. Um, and it does. I like Phil. And he said that every game was being built for Series X and then downgraded. Halo proves that's incorrect.
That's it.
The game was made for the Xbox One,
Yeah,
and it will be optimized. And what it sounds like, it'll eventually be optimized. So
yeah,
yeah, you can play it on your Series X, but is it a system seller? No, you can play it on your Xbox One. I mean, why? If
yeah.
if you're a diehard Halo fan, why would you go drop $400 or $500 and what are you picking up? I mean, you're not even getting ray
Convenience.
tracing right off the back.
Yeah,
You may get some way faster loading
that's
times. I
it.
mean,
Yeah, you're getting
fidelity it may be a little
convenience,
better.
man.
I
You're
don't
like
know.
you're paying $500 basically for an upgrade, like for convenience at this point. And we're
Right?
assuming it's $500. It could be less.
Yeah, four
Um, but
dollars.
like, yeah, you're getting convenience of fast load times, quick resume, all these cool features that obviously this was a game showcase, so we weren't expecting to see any of that. Hopefully next month we'll see more hardware features and why this console is the most powerful console. Um, but the games are not backing up that statement at all. Like, okay, the medium was an amazing like that there is a showcase. Where
Yeah,
was the gameplay? Like, and the funny thing is, the medium posted a Twitter post, a tweet, where it was like, "What do you want to see from from the medium next?" and
That
then
could
like it
be.
was gameplay or world building, and almost a majority of it, but almost like just a landslide victory for gameplay. And then they like put a winky face in the comments. Where's the gameplay? You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah,
still no gameplay. Like you, all we saw was world building. Like they
yeah, that's
were
another thing that kind of ties in at
put it
the
on
end
the
that
sticks. You know what I mean? Like put it on the sticks. Let's see that game in action to show off the Series X. Like this, it's a launch title apparently. So where
yeah,
is the
it is.
gameplay? It's ready to go. That's what we needed to see more of. We wanted to, if you want to say here's the Series X and what it's capable of, give me a 15 or not a 15, maybe 10-minute demo or 5 to 10 minute demo. Let's keep it compact, but 5 to 10 minute demo on the sticks, switching between
Right.
worlds. That is mind blowing. That's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart mind blowing. That's where the Series X would showcase. Let's see back and forth between these two completely different perspectives. You have like what is it? I think it was like the present day and then the future where it's all
Right.
like
Yeah.
undead and stuff. That's
That's
insane.
awesome.
And the game itself looks like an amazing game that of course I will never be able to play because I can't do the scary stuff. I can't do it, man. I barely got through Last of Us, but like the the scary stuff I can't do. But I would try that game out just because that is the
Yeah.
Series X. That is the power of next gen. And that's what they should have shown us, but they showed us another cinematic trailer. It's just like
Well,
nobody cares about these cinematic trailers. Nobody like I don't know, I can't say nobody, but I feel like a majority of people do not care to see cinematic trailer announcements. Like even Avowed, right? That's a big game that was revealed during this press conference or this game
right.
showcase. There's no gameplay. And even that little segment at the end that looks like gameplay, I guarantee you that is not gameplay.
That
I
looks like gameplay to me. I just went back and
Yeah, it's
rewatched
a
it.
simulated. I bet it's simulated gameplay. I know that. Like you know what I mean? I'm almost 90% confident that was simulated gameplay where it's just like here's our vision for what this game is going to look like and how it's going to look in the camera, but we don't even have it ready. They don't even I guarantee you they probably don't even have the game like in a working state right now. That's the thing. That was like for a majority of these games. I guarantee that they're not even in working states. Like you know what I
Well,
mean?
well, I want to touch on since we're talking about those two games. I'll go ahead and touch on them real quick. But the medium, yeah, to me that seems to be. It doesn't have the name fact, the brand factor that Halo brings to the table. But to me, I like the cinematic trailer because now it gives me an idea, and it really it got me into like now I'm interested in the game, and I got a good feeling. I think after I went back and watched the showcase again, it almost seems like now Microsoft's been so transparent for the last almost a year that they're pulling back just a little bit. And I think what they're doing now is yesterday's showcase was just to boom boom here's all these games, and then I think the medium's going to look that looks like it was taken from the game, and that's what the game should look like next gen.
Yeah.
So I expect the gameplay to look like that,
Oh
and I
sure,
can already
definitely.
get a sense of what it's going to play like. But PlayStation, they got a conference coming up in August. It's been
Rumored,
rumored
yeah.
Microsoft. Yeah, it's rumored Microsoft has a conference also in August, and I think now they're gonna, I think Microsoft held back today on gameplay because you got a lot of games that
Would you?
look like they're ready to go,
Yeah, but would you
but
agree that this was like Microsoft's big moment? Like this was their moment.
it was, and at first I was a little disappointed too because as we were watching it, after our we talked on our previous podcast, we were expecting lots of gameplay. Like 95%
Yeah.
of this was
Oh,
the
especially
gameplay.
after the feedback they got earlier this year.
Yeah, yeah. But then once I went back and watched it again, and I realized that this is an Xbox showcase, game showcase. I think what they wanted to do was, like I said, they just wanted to get 20 some games thrown at your face, and then in August, I have a feeling they're going to dive deeper into like the medium. Warhammer looked amazing, and I believe we got about 10 seconds of gameplay. It looked like gameplay, to me, and if that's what it looks like, I don't know. I have no idea what Warhammer is. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what it is, but I want to play that game, and it's on Game
Yeah.
Pass,
But that's
so
that's
why not?
another example of where I feel like that's simulated gameplay. Like I don't feel like that was actual gameplay either. Like the little moments where they showed the first person, even the cinema bars were still there. Like where it still had the black bars at the top and bottom
Right.
of it, and it just like this is still cinematic. This is simulated gameplay. Where like it just looked like that whole like Killzone 3 tech demo all
Yeah,
over again,
dude.
where it doesn't look like gameplay. So even that game, I'm just like, okay, so another co-op shooter, cool. I'm all about it, man. Show me games, show me the gameplay.
Right.
I'm
Right.
all about it. I love Left 4 Dead. I love that kind of stuff. Like let's see. I love zombies and Call of Duty. So if that has anything like if it's like that, like a survival type co-op game, let's
Yeah.
go. But it's no gameplay. Once again, like where I don't believe that's gameplay. Where
Right.
so I'm not convinced. We're
Well, see,
left to imagine that's what it looks like.
to me, I'm going to give Microsoft the benefit of the doubt. I mean, Microsoft's they've never really earned that reputation, unlike other companies that
Oh yeah.
they show something and then it turns out to not even be close. So Microsoft really hasn't earned that reputation to be, I don't want to say liars, but um, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, now if they turn around and the medium doesn't look like that, or Warhammer doesn't look like
Oh
that,
yeah.
then yeah, then it puts doubt. But if they can turn around and say, "Hey, what we showed you," I mean, it's just like playing the game. Then going forward, when they show these cinematic trailers, people will believe it. They'll appreciate the
Yeah.
cinematic trailer, even though it's not gameplay, because they know that Microsoft's going to stand by their word. So this is kind of it's a slippery road for them, because now it's setting
Mm.
them up where they they got to deliver. If you want to show these cinematic trailers of all these great looking games, the game better look like that.
The game better look like it. And I think gamers are I think they're wise enough to realize now that cinematic trailers are not representative of the game. And then like even when you try to be trickery there with the in-game engine, I still think gamers are wise enough to know that that's not what it's going to look like. Battlefield 5 is a prime example of what in-game engine trailers or even better like EA with their sports montage. We know that.
Yeah.
Stop trying to pull that on us. You know what I mean? Like I swear Madden still hasn't looked as good as that PS3 tech demo that they showed. Like it's
Well, look,
you know what I mean?
you I go back to you looking at the companies. Those companies built those reputations.
Mm.
Where as far as turn 10 goes, when I saw that, to me it looks like Forza. I mean, that's what I expect Forza
Yes.
to look
Okay.
like when I go to play the game. It better look like that or even better. I mean, you go back and watch the trailer. I can even pinpoint the cars are beautiful, the roads are beautiful, the
Yeah.
landscape blows Gran Turismo out of the water, and it
Oh,
blows Forza from the
one
Xbox
one
One out of the
hundred
water.
percent, 100%.
So
For that Forza trailer looked insane. It looked amazing, and if they can deliver that, then that's a huge thing.
right,
But where the difference comes in here is that with Gran Turismo, we got everything. We got
actual gameplay,
UI going through the menus, getting into
right,
a race, and racing the car on the sticks, all captured on PS5. Like so,
and
we
I
know
and
like there it is, the gameplay.
I understand, and
Yeah.
that gameplay to me
Wasn't
was disappointing.
it wasn't
So
spectacular. I can say that. Yeah.
whereas if Forza can come out, because to me Gran Turismo will probably be you know late this year, next year. So you never know with Gran Turismo. It could
I
be
can
eight
see a
years from
spring release, maybe.
now. But with Forza, it should come out next year, and if it looks like that, which they've built the reputation, they've actually out of any company has earned the reputation of delivering on at least the visuals,
Yeah.
because every Forza is fantastic. So to me, that's what a next gen racing game can look like, and if that's what they showed and that's what they
Oh yeah.
deliver,
One.
then
Yeah.
again, the
That's insane.
showcase presentation for that game, even though it was 29 seconds long, that's all they needed to show. I mean, it's a racing game. What else are you going to show? You just
Gameplay.
give me the goods. Yeah, but I know if it looks like that, then in my mind, I'm sold on the game.
Yeah.
Now,
I
if the game,
mean,
like I said, if
it's
the game
cool.
comes out and it fails, then they're going to earn the reputation of, well, next time you better show gameplay because
Yeah.
you
I
under
don't
delivered.
think I don't think I would be this upset about Forza if like we had just received Forza 8 like last year like we were supposed to, and then they're like, "Hey, here's the next evolution of Forza. And we're working on it. It's early in development." It's been 3 years for Turn
And
10. What have they been doing? Like, and it's
they've
still
been doing what
early
you
in
saw in the
development?
trailer. Yeah, but they're doing what you saw in the trailer.
Yeah,
I'm going to get to that at the end because I think what happened
like
is
just
I think,
revamping the entire thing from the ground up.
well, it is. It's been built
Yeah.
from the ground up. A lot
Mhm.
of really neat features. I mean,
Yeah, so I mean 3 years is understandable for that fidelity of
but I
what
think
we
the
saw,
game,
but
I think the game would have been a launch title. Um, I think what happened is I think Big Philly Spencer, I think he put the hammer down, and I think Turn 10, I think told Phil, if we want to deliver what Forza in a next gen racing game needs to be, it can't be played on the Xbox One. Sorry. And I think Phil said, well, then the game can't come out this year because we have promised 1 to 2 years of Xbox One life.
yeah.
And I really believe, and like I said, this is all going to tie together with my review at the end, but I really think Turn 10 then decided to step back and say, well, cool, more to work on the game. It's going to be amazing. And when they deliver this game, it's going to deliver. I have 100% confidence that that game is going to be a next gen game. Um, and it kind of reverts back to Halo. I
Mm-hmm.
think Halo, if 343 wanted it, or if they wanted that to be a flagship game for the Series X and to sell an Xbox Series X, then Halo wouldn't be coming out this year either
Mm-hmm.
because it wouldn't be playable on the Xbox One.
Right. But
That's
games are
why I
not
love
being held
Halo.
back by Xbox One.
Well, they are, and
Right.
I like
Come
Phil,
on,
but
Phil.
that's obvious
Yeah.
because every game that's mind blowing all said Series X PC at the end. It didn't say anything about, so they're 1 to 2 years
Mm-hmm.
off.
Some of those, though, I did notice that it said Series X PC, and then it did have the optimized for Series X sticker. So,
Yeah, which was odd.
right.
I
So that
noticed
means,
that too.
wait, is it coming out? But they didn't. Yeah. Some of those games, like well, I know for sure the Medium is not on Xbox One. We know that for
No,
sure because they confirmed that
and,
on their Twitter.
and neither was Warhammer, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Here, another big game that was shown that we saw no gameplay of. There's two of them. First one is super surprising that we saw no gameplay of, and that actually both of them are Hellblade. Hellblade 2. We literally got an announcement on where it's going to be at Iceland.
Yeah,
Okay.
at first I didn't understand why it was
Yeah.
even in the case.
Reusing footage from the XO19
To
or
me,
from the Game Awards, I guess.
yeah, and barely any of it. I mean, they didn't even
Yeah.
show all of it. I think what happened there is it's the Xbox showcase, so they just wanted to remind people that the game was coming out. So they, to me, it just felt like they had to
Yeah.
talk about it somehow.
Yeah. Here's
But
but
yeah, that
which
was
shows me that this game is not ready. Like it's
another
2022 probably or late
yeah.
holiday 2021 depending on the size of the game,
It,
which I feel like Microsoft is going to be pushing shorter games cuz they don't care. It's
right.
less they just they just put it on Game Pass. If it's a 5-hour game, it's on Game Pass. Nobody can complain. And then that's probably all they want. They just like get these shorter games out on Game Pass.
For
So I
smaller
can
games,
imagine. Yeah,
I don't think a game like
I think
Hellblade.
Avowed will be a huge game for sure.
Yeah,
They'll have that one like AAA like experience every so often, but the rest are just going to be like little games that they can put on Game Pass. It's quantity over quality.
this is nice. This is what I'm going to get to with my wrap up.
Okay, all right. So and then the other one was Everwild, which still have no idea what the and you know what the funny thing is? Rare even said they have no idea. They don't even know what the gameplay is. I can't find the tweet, but it was an interview where they were saying we're still tweaking or we're still twerking. We're still tweaking the gameplay to try to find the sweet spot. We don't. They're like they said no gameplay was shown because we don't have gameplay.
So another game
Like
that's
that's
a
me
year or two.
paraphrasing, and I might be
Yeah,
putting words
I
in the
know.
mouth. But basically, what they're saying is that they're still working with the
Still
gameplay.
work in progress.
Still a work in progress. They have nothing to show, which means Everwild is a game that's not going to come out for another year, maybe two. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're pulling a Sony with that one. They're making an announcement of
Yeah, but you
a
keep
game
showing
that's
something
coming
without
later.
telling. Like you're showing this. Like okay, cool. Game looks
I
pretty.
understand,
Game looks beautiful. I
but
love it.
this
Yeah, I love the aesthetics of it. But what is it?
I think that's one of those games that go into what we were talking about on a previous podcast of saying Xbox just had to throw anything they had out here,
Oh, I agree, and I'm cool with it. Like if
just like
Everwild,
Fable.
if they showed this trailer, that's cool. But where's you got to give us gameplay? You got to give us gameplay. All it was trailer fest, man. Whereas
I
like
think
if they wanted to show these like announcements for like, hey, Fable would have gotten a huge reaction on the internet if it wasn't like so heavily almost confirmed rumored like
right,
beforehand.
right,
If they would have shown Fable without anybody knowing about it, huge reaction. That would have been
yeah,
insane. And that's cool. That's the kind of example of a cinematic trailer that's fine with me, where it's just
right,
like where it's a huge
just kind of
surprise and it's just like a title reveal. Cool.
right.
Um, but I don't know, man. I just especially Hellblade when I'm sure everybody was looking to see exactly what this game's gonna look like in gameplay. And then
Oh yeah,
Everwild, which has been a huge mystery. Like we want to know what this game looks like since I don't know, a couple 6 months ago when they showed it off. Like people want to know what it looks like. What's the game going to be like? We still have no idea. Where's
uh,
Battletoads from Rare? No Battletoads. This game has been announced since 2017, I believe. Apparently, this
yeah.
game is not very good. I guess I saw it at E3. I never got to sit down and actually play it. Um, but like it was there at the booth. I watched somebody play it, and it looked like Battletoads. I don't know, like a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah.
But from when I was watching Kinda Funny, Tim Getty said it was trash. Like it was a 4 out of 10. And I'm like, oh Jesus. He's like, so maybe that's why it's delayed. It's
I
like,
can see that.
yeah, it's probably like it's just gonna be a Game Pass game, like where it's just like, oh, just put it on Game Pass, it's fine. But like,
I'll be honest, I kind of got that vibe when they announced it.
yeah, just put it. Yeah, hey, cool. Release Battletoads. It'll keep people happy. But yeah, I mean, I love all the announcements. I loved every game that they showed today. I was like, this is awesome. Huge variety. Or yesterday, huge variety, huge like selection of games, and the best part about all of this is that Xbox is showing that they have first party games exclusives coming,
Right.
and they probably showed more exclusives during this games conference than the Xbox One has since 2013.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
honestly, this probably is. I'm not even like joking. It might be true. It might be equal to or more than. But yeah, so that's awesome. Awesome news. So Xbox has obviously made the right moves with as far as acquisitions go, as far as these exclusives problem that they've been having, and to have a big RPG like Skyrim style that's going to be exclusive to Series X is
Right.
huge. That's a huge deal. And then Fable, what?
Right.
So they're not only saying like, "Hey, we're a platform for third-person action adventures." We're a platform for a wide scope of every game, and that's big news. That's great. But the problem is we saw no gameplay. Psychonauts 2 looks great. It looks amazing. I loved it. We saw on the sticks gameplay during that little music trailer. Like
Yeah.
we saw it and it looks even better on 4K. That looked
Yeah. That's
really good. So I'm excited for Psychonauts because I saw gameplay.
right.
I'm excited for Crossfire X, the story
Yeah.
campaign,
Crossfire.
which is
Yeah.
being developed by the guys who by Remedy, who've done Control, Quantum Break, these amazing game, Alan Wake. So you know the story is going to be excellent. It's from a tweet that I saw earlier that they are inspired by Resident Evil and Metal Gear Solid, and it's like, okay, I'm on board, man. I'm ready to go for this one. That looks next gen. The
That
Crossfire
looks really
X,
good.
that looked next
Yes.
gen to me, and that was they showed little snippets of gameplay within the
Oh
trailer,
yeah.
which is a little bit better. At least we saw actual gameplay on this one, and even
Yeah.
though it wasn't like a gameplay demo playthrough, it was gameplay, and I was like, all right, this is cool. I can handle this. I like it. So Crossfire X looked great.
Right.
Um, I liked the tech demo that they showed with Ori and the Will of the Wisp, showing that. Um, Honestly, that is the best way to show off frame rate when you
Yeah.
can't when you can't
120
show off
frames.
frame rate through a live stream, but you can show it off through like saying here's the game broken down into seconds. You know what I mean? like like each frame they broke it down to each frame and
Oh
like
yeah.
and how smooth it was. So I
Yeah,
think
and
that that's
someone
really
who
cool.
still, even though of course I played Ori as soon as it came out, but I still need to perfect the game. So now, hey, I may hold off and wait to play it on my Series X because I'm
Like
sure that will.
to get that 100%.
Yeah, yeah. To get that 100%, I'll go back and play some more to to get that experience.
Yeah,
Um, Series X can deliver.
I'm definitely going to go back and play it because that looks great. 4K UHD, all right, HDR, 60 frames or 120 frames per second. Insane. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. Worth going back and
Then
playing again. Then,
Stalker 2 didn't really show any gameplay, but it looked really good.
right, Stalker 2, no gameplay, so I don't really. I get the atmosphere. You know what I mean? I get it that it's
Right, right.
Stalker, but
Can I tell you,
um,
what was it? Exo Mecha? Is that how it's
mm,
pronounced?
I
Exo
was
Mecha?
pre-show.
That's pre-show.
That was pre-show.
Um,
Game of the
that
show.
looked really good.
One, it might be game of the show. Might be game of the show for me. Look better than Halo. Like it looked great.
Well,
Looked
that
great.
looks like it's closer to release than Halo. Yeah, that's for sure.
Halo comes out this year though. Like
I know, but once I get that it's still a work in progress. I mean, I think you posted something today saying that it's a rumor that the multiplayer might not ship with the game, and that if
oh
that's
yeah, that
true,
no, it's already been debunked. It's already been debunked.
oh okay, thank
Yeah, yeah,
God.
yeah. It's already been they've already confirmed. It was pretty quick. Like the Verge,
Oh, okay, I didn't
yeah,
see
it
the
came out
update.
quick and said, yeah, this is rumor's been shot down. It will
Okay,
launch with
good.
multiplayer. Yeah.
And was it the creators of Sonic? They coming out with some how do you
That was
pronounce it? The
pre-show as
Wonderland
well.
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Wonderland game that looked really good.
Balo, Balo.
That's also on Xbox One and Series X.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That was like a platform. I like that. I like it. Bringing
that
back those old
good.
school platformer stuff. I liked it.
Yes, yes.
Like the gunk. I mean, didn't look very good to me.
Not for me.
Not for me. Not for me. It definitely uh, just had that very indie vibe to it.
Right,
Not
right.
bad. Not bad. Good Game Pass game. I'll play it on Game Pass. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, but yeah, like Exo Mecha. I just want to go back to that for a second. Exo
Mhm.
Mecha probably my game of the show, and that was pre-show where it just looked. It looked next gen. It looked a lot of fun. It looked like Transformers. Like
It looked like Transformers and
what?
Titanfall
Titan?
and
What? I was
Call of
hyped, dude.
Duty.
I
Like
was
it
like,
looked.
this is yeah. They should have
It's
saved
got.
that for the real show, man.
I'm curious if that'll be. I didn't see if that's coming to Game Pass or not because it wasn't a part of the showcase. So I don't know
Oh,
if
good
that's an
point.
actual gameplay. I have to look that up. I just don't know.
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
I hope so.
I was looking at in the background in your video there, and for a second I was like Cuphead, but yeah, no, I was Cuphead wasn't even shown here either. The Delicious Last Course. What is that? Where is it? That was. I feel like that was 2017. It might have been
That was a
2018.
that was a disappointing thing for me because I've really been looking forward to Cuphead.
Yeah. I think your audio just turned back on or something.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you might have set Xbox on mute or something. But yeah, no, the Cuphead wasn't shown. It might be. I'd much rather have a Cuphead 2 at this point. You know what I mean?
Uh, I don't know. I still want that DLC, and I'll still take Cuphead too. I'll take as much Cuphead as they give.
Oh yeah. Okay, and then Fantasy Star 2 or Fantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, that actually showed us gameplay. And it looked good. It's not for me. It looked good though. But
It looked pretty good.
they showed us gameplay, which honestly, for that, it puts it up really high on my top list just because I saw actual gameplay.
Yeah, they showed quite a
Um,
bit.
Yeah, they showed quite a bit on that one, so that's cool. Uh, yeah, man. And then of course they end it with Fable, but we've already kind of discussed that. So yeah, that's it. So go ahead, Andrew. Give me what is it that you when we were texting back and forth, you told me that you were going to save it for the podcast, and that yeah. So I'm curious now. I'm really curious of what your why this showcase is not bad for you. It's actually good.
Okay, this showcase is good, and we did a rating system when we did PlayStation Showcase
I'll do it here too.
um,
Yeah.
for the PlayStation 5.
Mhm.
Okay, and I gave it an A. As an Xbox gamer, I gave it an A, even though I did state that there was one game that interests me. Um, for the Xbox game showcase, I'm going to give it an A as well. And the reason being because if you go Xbox Series X showcase, it maybe
It's
a
Xbox
C
Game
plus.
Showcase. Okay.
I'd give it maybe a C plus because
Xbox Game
the
Pass
medium.
Showcase.
But if you go Xbox Game Showcase, it gets an A for me. And here's why this showcase is what Xbox needed. And I'll try to keep it short and not ramble on too much.
You're good, man. Get it
The
out.
Xbox is officially after this showcase. It has 100% convinced me finally, and it's time to. It's 2020. It's time to start facing reality. Microsoft does not care if you play on the Xbox. They don't care, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with this because they have built now something that can compete with anybody. I mean, they're not in competition with Sony anymore. They're not in competition with Nintendo. They're their own brand now. Like there is no competition, I don't think, for Xbox. Like there's nothing. Xbox will now be finished when Xbox or Microsoft says shut down the Xbox division because they have no competition. And I think after this presentation, it has shown me the future of the Xbox brand that they are still committed to, like me, they still love their hardcore gamer that wants to experience the Xbox games that only Xbox is bringing, Ori, Halo, Gears, Forza, all these great games. And I want to play them on an Xbox system in the best possible quality. That's the Series X. As for the average buyer, they have shown me they don't care if you buy it, especially not now. And I think that's what this showcase was about, and that's why it's getting an A because they showed that look, if you come into our ecosystem for $9.99 a month, you're getting these games are coming. We don't need to show you gameplay. That's not important. What we need to do is everybody when they talk about Xbox, they go, "Well, they ain't got no exclusives." Well, nobody can say that anymore. That is out the window because they might have more than Sony. I don't know. They showed off a ton, and it may not be in your interest. So it don't mean this like in a bad way to Xbox, but you're not gonna get a 10 out of 10 Last of Us. You're not gonna get a God of War. And that's what Xbox they're not worried about. I mean, they're going to produce quality games. They're AAA games. Like they're going to give you great years of games. I do believe when Halo comes out, it's going to be great. It doesn't need to look the best. They don't care because they want. If you want to play Halo, they don't want to. What are they going to make? Maybe 10 million consoles at launch. They don't want to limit their audience to. I mean, your pre-orders are selling out both systems. It's a guarantee. Both systems are going to sell out instantly. So why limit your fan base? I mean, Xbox just wants you to play. They don't. This showcase proved to me they just want you to play their games and play them however you want. And in a way, now it really makes sense if this Lockhart, which is almost 100%, you know, coming out. I mean, if it is true, it makes total sense now because now you're catering to a set of gamers that okay, you're not an Xbox guy, or you're not that hardcore where you want to go out and spend, especially with this year. you want to go spend $400 or $500 to get a Series X to play these games, um, like you, I think you want to play Halo, but you may now, after seeing the showcase, you don't want to spend $500. You can play it on your Xbox One, no problem. And then next year, or whenever you're ready to upgrade, or when you see that, hey, Microsoft is no longer releasing anything for Xbox One in the next 1 to 2 years, I have to upgrade. Now you don't have to go out and drop $500 to stay with Xbox. You go drop what the rumor say $250, and you're still getting a mid grade, upgrade to next gen where you can now play all these great games, but you didn't have to drop a ton of money. And it all seems to me that unlike when the Xbox One came out, and then years later they dropped the Xbox One X, it almost seems like they're giving you both. And now this is still assuming the Lockhart gets announced next month, but say they do decide to launch them both very close together, it almost seems like they're giving you the upgraded version, which being the Series X. They're giving it to you now, and they're giving you the actual next gen console, if that makes sense. So to me, it's a great move because you're allowing your core gamers that don't have the money to upgrade. You're allowing them to still play these great games, and then only have to fork out a little bit of cash if you want to get into next gen. It just they've sold Game Pass.
Yeah.
I mean, Game Pass, best value. Like I said, it doesn't matter if they're cinematic trailers. You put your $9.99 down, you got games to play that, any type of game you want to play, they showed it. I think the only thing they didn't show was like a fighting game, if I'm not mistaken. So, they're giving you what their brand is now. They're no longer, they don't want to fight in competition with Sony anymore. Like, they are almost a service now, but yet they don't want. And I think one day, and I think this is kind of what this has shown, maybe they will get out of the hardware market. And I think Phil Spencer did an interview a couple of weeks ago or something where he was talking about Game Pass, and they asked him if it was still, if he still wanted to see him come to other systems. And his response, and I don't know the quote on it, but he said basically that they couldn't work out where the Xbox, what they wanted you to experience with Xbox, they couldn't get out of other devices, which to me, the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 4. I do think after seeing this conference, like, it kind of opened up a lot for me. I do think one day we may see Xbox Game Pass on a PlayStation console or on a Nintendo console while Xbox or Microsoft is still producing a console, which seems weird, but it's really not. I mean, they just want that subscription from you. But I do think the days, and maybe Microsoft, proves me wrong, but I do think the days of them trying to knock a 10 out of 10 game, I don't think it's going to happen anymore. And it kind of goes back to what you said about shorter games. Not that they'll be super short. Like, Halo's not that short of a game. Gears isn't that short.
No, apparently it's like one of the biggest Halo campaigns ever. So
yeah, they'll give you I think they're going to give you great experiences with their bigger titles, but they may not be up to par with what PlayStation may offer. But it's quantity over quality, and it's like, I hope that it doesn't sound like I'm bashing Xbox, because I'm not. I actually think it's genius on their part for what their brand is going for. I mean, they made it known that Xbox Game Pass is their brand now, and to me, it just feels like the Series X is there, but they're not worried about pushing it, and I think that's kind of what they have gotten across without saying it. Even Phil Spencer, at the beginning of the showcase, he didn't really. He named off a bunch of things like the best experience, if you get a Series X, best frame rate. he never said graphically. Like he did, he like if you go back and watch it, he did not point out you'll get the best graphics. Like so, um,
Yeah, I mean,
so
it's you should be able to get the best graphics out of the Series X. It is more powerful.
and
Yeah.
that's what you're getting as a the Series X is a kind of like what the Xbox One became with the Xbox One X.
Mm-hmm.
It's a multi-platform system
Yeah.
that will if you're a huge Call of Duty guy, you're not playing Call of Duty on the PlayStation. If you're that big and you want it on the Xbox, it's going to play, look better, and everything on the Xbox.
That still is something I'm really interested in seeing how multi-platform games go. Once again, this
Right,
would have been a great showcase, but I mean,
but
to present, like Destiny didn't show me anything exciting. Like, I
right.
mean, sure, it's going to run a little smoother, but 4K.
And
Uh,
you asked me real quick. You asked me on the previous podcast when we did the PlayStation one. You asked, did they do enough to get an
yeah.
Xbox gamer to buy a PS5? And I said no, not for me personally, because like there's only a couple games I was interested in at the time.
Okay.
But as far and now the same question
Is it enough
was
for a PlayStation gamer to buy an Xbox?
to buy an Xbox, yes. Now to buy a Series X,
Mm,
no. And
right.
and that's why I think it was a smart move because, and I'll put it this way: if PlayStation came out with a service just like Game Pass, okay, said $9.99 a month.
They have
Oh,
PlayStation now, but yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it ain't up to quality. You
Not
tell me
yet.
I can play like Ratchet and Clank on day one. Okay, I'm not going out to buy a PS5, but guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go buy the PS4 or this is assuming Ratchet and Clank would be kind of like what Xbox is doing.
Yeah.
Um,
Hypothetically.
yeah, but say, okay, I'll go buy the PS5 Lockhart. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
I got what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
I want to play those games, but for me to spend $500 on a PlayStation, I'm not doing that. But 200, 250 or whatever, I'll jump in there and give you my 9.99 a month and play these epic games because I don't need the best experience to play those games because I'm
Yeah.
not that hardcore PlayStation. So yeah, I mean, I think they as a PlayStation gamer, I think they showed enough to get you into Xbox. But as far as selling the Series X, they didn't do nothing to actually sell the Series X.
Mm-mm.
And that's why I think if you look at this showcase, and I think I don't know, I mean, I'll ask you in a second, but did, if you look at it as a games Xbox brand showcase, do you think it was better? Because I know in your mind, you were probably going in thinking, I want to see Series X.
Yeah, I was going in wanting to see Series X. Not gonna lie, I was excited about them doing this as a rebuttal to the PlayStation 5 reveal event. This is kind of like PlayStation did their show. Now it's time for Xbox. The first time that Xbox got to kind of follow PlayStation in a long time. Like usually they go first. Xbox goes first, but I was like, okay, so now Xbox can retaliate. I want to see what Xbox is going to do. And going into it, I was expecting to see them take the feedback that they received from the Series X gameplay reveal that showed no gameplay, and say, okay, we hear you. We hear you loud and clear. You want gameplay. And they would show us a lot of gameplay. But yeah, no. There was no gameplay. So if you're asking me, as a Xbox games event, was it exciting? It wasn't exciting. Were the announcements exciting? Sure. Like I was excited to see like games are being made for Xbox.
Right.
I'm excited to know that Xbox has listened to that feedback of not having it. They have a really bad exclusive problem. They're getting trampled when it comes to exclusives. And it's good to know that they have these exclusives coming, and one of them, Avowed, looks, or actually there's a couple more than one, but like Avowed looks like, okay, now we're talking. Xbox is going to have a big name RPG coming. And then Fable, Xbox has got a big name RPG coming again. This is going to be great. So yeah, it's good to know that these games are in development. Everwild, I have no idea what this game is. Um, and like I get the idea from the aesthetics of the trailers, but I still don't know what it is, and I'm not excited about it. I already known about Everwild. Hellblade, I knew about it back at the Game Awards. I was expecting to see something today. Nothing there. So yeah, no, I can't say that it brought any kind of hype. No big drops either. No mic drops. None of that. There was no. If Fable wasn't pretty much confirmed beforehand, it would have been a mic drop. But they should have led with Fable, in my opinion. I feel like if they would have opened the conference with that Fable trailer, that would have set a really cool mood. Like it's a fun time. And then ended with Halo. But now that I've seen Halo, I'm almost like maybe you shouldn't have ended with Halo. I don't know. It's just not that good. Um, but yeah, so the pacing of the show was bad. The trailer fest was something that for me personally, I hate trailer fest. I really cannot stand when somebody comes on there and just presses play on a video that they made. Like I want to see something. I want to see gameplay. Like the Halo thing. That was cool. Like the on the sticks gameplay. I got to see how this game plays from point A to point B. Um, I like that. I like that kind of stuff because that shows me what I'm going to be playing. Not a trailer. Trailer doesn't show me what I'm going to be playing. It shows it's there to invoke some sort of hype, which I think has been desensitized down to it's not hype anymore when you see a trailer because you know that it's just not going to be representative of the game. You know what I mean? Like, um, so yeah, no. As a game showcase, it's still the only thing that excites me is to know that there's a library coming, and that there's this is still way off. Like we're not even talking like within a year. Like we're talking way off in the future. We're gonna have games for Xbox, and that's weird to me. And then the fact that they're not even showing games that have been announced years ago, like Cuphead. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen Battletoads, which is interesting because that's just all it is a side-scrolling beat 'em up. Why is this so hard? Uh, and then we haven't seen I don't know, man. We just haven't seen a lot from Xbox that's going to be coming out this within the year. So game showcase, it wasn't a showcase. It was a trailer. Like it was like the previews you get before you get the actual movie. Like it's just here's previews of here's just the previews. You'll get to see it eventually or play it eventually. Like I don't know, man. And then so coming off of what PlayStation shown, and this is where I'll get into. Oh wait, no, hold on. We'll give our grade, I guess. Well, no, let's do the PlayStation recap so that way we know because we know you got an A from I guess we already kind of know the answer to this question. You gave both of them an A. I give the Xbox Game Showcase a C. Like I maybe a C, just because it was cool to see games are in development, but nothing was hype. I just didn't get hype. Even Halo didn't get me hype. I was just like, oh, cool.
Right.
But whereas on the PlayStation side of things, when they were showing, I was like, oh my god, everything is vibing with me right now. I was like texting you like, Andrew, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yes. See, you were texting me, and I was texting you back, going, "Man, I'm bored to death right
No,
now."
all right. So I kind of want to go beat for beat here. I kind of want to go beat for beat. Let's go PlayStation Game Showcase versus the Xbox Game Showcase. Okay. First things first. PlayStation started off terrible by showing a Rockstar logo and not showing Grand Theft Auto 6. The worst possible intro I've ever like. Why is the big question. But Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming to PS5, so that game has been on three generations at this point. But yeah, like you don't show a Rockstar logo and then like a city where it looks like Grand Theft Auto and then it's not Grand Theft Auto 6. Anyways, they started off terrible there. Where Xbox started off with the Halo Infinite stuff, right? So Halo Infinite already Xbox has advantage. because Halo Infinite is better. And then if you want to kind of combine Halo Infinite trailer with Halo Infinite gameplay, the next thing PlayStation showed was Miles Morales on Spider-Man. Huge announcement, big name drop there because people love Miles Morales, people love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of the I'm trying to figure out. It's in the top 3 or top
Yeah.
5 of highest selling games of this generation.
Right.
So Spider-Man, huge announcement there. It is more than they didn't really convey the messaging, but it is more than just DLC. It is a standalone game.
And it looks
Um,
like a nice title.
hopefully, it's a $39.99 game um, because it's not as big as the original the Spider-Man that came out. So, anyways, but that messaging wasn't there. So messaging was a little scrambled, but we got what we got with Halo. So Xbox has advantage right now. We go over to the next thing that PlayStation shows is Gran Turismo 7. Now, Gran Turismo 7 was a big trailer at first, running an engine, and we were like, oopsies. But immediately followed by on the sticks gameplay captured on PS5 doing an actual race. So actually from the UI to a race. So there was everything you needed to see there with Gran Turismo 7. The next thing that Xbox showed was State of Decay 3 cinematic trailer, followed by the Forza Motorsport in-game trailer. No gameplay. So I give the edge to PlayStation on that one because we actually got to
Based
see
on
gameplay.
gameplay?
Yeah, because we actually got to see gameplay.
Yeah, but I go back to I'm going to give the edge on to Forza, at least on Forza on that one, because they've earned the reputation of that's what the game should look like. I have no doubts that's what the game is going to look like. And I even commented on
Fair.
our Sony podcast, more power to Sony for coming out with Gran Turismo, but it looks like it could be done on the PS4 Pro. Like, it doesn't look that next gen, whereas Forza, when they started rolling that clip, that was a next gen game.
Okay.
Now, like I said, I'll eat these words if that game comes out and it looks nothing like it, but I'm going to give the edge to Turn 10 because they've earned that reputation. Whereas Gran Turismo has earned the reputation of not a good reputation.
I mean, where you can kind of, I give the edge to PlayStation just because we saw gameplay, which means that it's a game that's going to be coming out within the next year. Whereas
You sure?
I'm going to say it'll come out within the next year. Not only because we saw gameplay, but we actually saw it from the UI. Then they had the garage, like where you choose your car. They had the map. They had everything. It seemed like this game was ready.
Shall I remind you of the 6 to 7 year wait we were promised on? Was the last one or the one before? I can't remember.
Well, yeah, Gran Turismo 6 didn't. I think that was actually on the PS3, and then there was Sport. So hopefully they've been working on 7 for a while.
Yeah.
So
what we got next?
Yeah, after that, PlayStation goes right to the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which was blowing my mind. Absolutely insane. They showed a trailer first, and I was like, "Oh wow, this trailer looks really good." I mean, obviously it's a cinematic trailer. I was just hyped to see Ratchet back, so that announcement was exciting. But once again, if all they would have shown was that, I would have been like, "Come on, man!" They immediately follow with here's gameplay captured directly from the PlayStation 5, and then they show it.
That was Game of Show.
Yeah. I'm glad you agree. But it was like directly captured from the PS5, world hopping, and like they explained it too beforehand. They said this is only possible on the PlayStation 5, and then they even kind of explained a little bit, which I love this. I love this kind of part of a showcase where the developer comes out and says, not just what you just saw was this, no, but like saying this is why it's exciting. Like, this is only captured on PS5, only being able to be captured on PS5, only possible. And then not only that was that it also said that the dual sense controller adds an extra layer to the game, right? So yeah, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, amazing. Xbox follows up with Everwild, which we talked about earlier in the show. Still have no idea what this is. Yeah, still have no idea what this is. And then they followed up with "Tell Me Why," uh, which actually did show gameplay for its give a little bit of a compliment there. It showed gameplay there. It's a point and click thing, but whatever. Um, Don't Nod is really good for those things. I love Life is Strange. So, but then PlayStation cinematic trailer, but it did show what seems to be gameplay, right? Which I don't believe, but Project Ethia, which showed looking almost like a really good version of like a next gen version of Final Fantasy 15 engine. So I kind of believe that was gameplay, but Project Athia in the works, and we don't even know that could be Final Fantasy 16. Insane. So that beats out the Tell Me Why and Everwild for me. Finally, we get some tech side of thing with Ori in the Will of the Wisp showing 120 frames per second. That's exciting. But on the PlayStation side of things, you see this game. There's a game about a cat called Stray, talking about you talk about variety over here, right? You see a game. The game looks amazing. If it looks like that, insane. But it's about a cat walking through the city, so I'm not really hyped for it.
We'll give them a tie.
We'll give it a tie. Okay, that sounds good. Returnal, which looked so good. Oh, that's in development from Guerrilla Games. So same people who are doing Horizon. So we know this is going to be really good, but I have no idea what's going on there. It's just a cinematic trailer, so who knows? And then we got DLC from Xbox for the Outer Worlds, right? So and then Sackboy Big Adventure, which is almost unfair to compare to Avowed reveal, but hey, got gameplay, right? The Avowed thing was a bigger announcement, though. I will give it that. But I like the gameplay of Sackboy. Basically looks exactly like Mario 3D World.
Yeah.
Destruction All Stars. Come on, looks so good, like a Destruction Derby, and it showed gameplay, and it just looked like next gen. So and then you go on to As Dusk Falls,
that,
which is
that's going to Xbox too, right?
no Destruction All Stars is a PlayStation
That's
exclusive.
PlayStation.
Yeah, that's PlayStation exclusive, man.
I don't know why I was thinking that was
I'm
multi-plat.
you can look it up if you'd like, real quick while I'm going through it. I'm pretty sure that's PlayStation exclusive. And then on the Xbox thing, we got indie games As Dusk Falls. Hey, Hellblade 2 is going to be set in Iceland.
Yeah.
Versus Kenya Bridge of Spirits, which is one of my other game of show. Looks amazing. Great platformer there. Looks like a what's the game Cameo? But like looks so much better. So good. God. And then Psychonauts 2. Okay, Psychonauts 2 edges out on PlayStation where they said Goodbye Volcano High, because if anything, you should compare Goodbye Volcano High to Tell Me Why. I guess they're kind of in
Right.
the similar vein, I guess. But I don't know, man. My point is, and then like PlayStation Oddworld Soulstorm, Ghostwire Tokyo, so big third party presence. Where on the place or Xbox side of thing, we had Destiny 2 Beyond Light coming to Game Pass. Huge announcement, but okay. And then cinematic trailer after cinematic trailer, Stalker 2, Warhammer Dark Tide, cinematic trailers. Jet Far Shore is another little indie game that they had there. Godfall, right? Looks like next gen, but it was accompanied with gameplay, which was great. On the sticks gameplay.
Right.
I don't understand the choice of song for that, but it was weird. Have hip hop music playing where medieval sword fighting, but okay. I don't know, man. Solar Ash, Hitman 3, Astro's Playroom, Little Devil Inside, Xbox side of thing, Tetris Effect Connected, The Gunk, The Medium, which would have been a huge hit if they showed gameplay. Didn't know gameplay. Phantasy Star Online 2. You go over to PlayStation one more time. Bug Snacks, which became some kind of viral hit, but I'm not really excited for it, but a viral hit there. Demon Souls remake. Huge announcement for them. Deathloop, big presence once again. uh, from third party. Resident Evil 8, mic drop, dude. Um, and then you go over Xbox side of thing. Crossfire X gets a gameplay trailer. Cool. I'm excited. And then they close out the show with Fable. Meanwhile, PlayStation still dropping the man. Pragmata, that's a cinematic trailer, so that's a down for them. I'm not really. I don't know anything about it. Whatever. And Horizon Forbidden West announcement, which is another cinematic trailer. But when you compare it to a logo reveal from Fable, that's you know what I mean. Like I think my point is being made here is that PlayStation is showing exclusive after exclusive, and they're exciting. They're next gen. They look great. The PlayStation came out and said, "Here's why you need to own a PlayStation 5." Whereas
Yeah.
Xbox came out and said, "Hey, come join our ecosystem." You know what I mean? Like we know that we're launching a brand new console this year, but we have given you no reason to buy it. I mean, I get what you said. I understand your point of view, that where Xbox is just wants you in the ecosystem. They don't even care about the next gen console war, which the console wars is it's not about, like, for me, it's not about bashing the other console. It's about what I'm going to invest my money in when it comes to this holiday. And I don't see. I really after this games conference or game showcase from Xbox, I said, I literally sat down and I said, I don't need a Series X. Like I don't need one other than convenience. So if it's
Right.
$500, I'm paying $500 for faster load times, which I will say I will get extremely used to right after the first
Right.
moment that I play it, being able to swap between games. But during this game showcase, man, like they showed me trailers, like, whereas PlayStation showed me games. You know what I mean? That's the
Well,
difference.
and that's why I'm giving them both an A for what their conference was meant to be. Now, I think what they've done is that they've at least got people's eye that may not be in the Xbox ecosystem, and they've proven that, hey, look, you can no longer say we don't have games, we don't have exclusives, because we do. And for 9.99, come get them when they drop on day one. I mean, and I think that's, it may be
Yeah.
unfortunate that I think the console wars are over. I mean, Nintendo backed out a long time ago, and now I think Xbox has moved on as a brand, which actually I believe got started as soon as Phil took over. I mean, I said it once. I think if Phil wouldn't have took over, the Xbox One might have been it for Microsoft. I mean, there was a lot of rumors swirling. There was a lot of a lot of stuff going on mid cycle of Xbox One. So I think with Phil taking over, he had a vision, and I think he's executed it exactly the way he wanted. I mean, it's sad because as a Xbox gamer, and I like the console war. I like kind of debating with
Yeah.
PlayStation, but you know, yeah, still for me personally, I don't enjoy a lot. I don't. Those games don't interest me. They look amazing. They
Hmm.
could be 10 out of 10 games all day. They still don't have my interest.
I think that's
Whereas
yeah.
I'll still down, and Gears of War still blows me away. Like I love that game. So I
Yeah.
think they both did
No
enough as
Gears
far as
Tactics either.
yeah.
Come on, man. Where's the games?
I do think PlayStation did a really good job because, like, God, it's only one game, but that Ratchet and Clank looks so much fun. I just keep going back to that one.
Destruction All
And
Stars.
yeah,
Kenya.
Destruction All Stars, I want to play that. So for me, PlayStation did their job, especially when they dropped a digital version. Because if I'm to buy a PlayStation, you best believe I'm not buying the $500, $600 one. Like, I want that digital one, and I'm really thinking about it. And that's what their conference did was, I want the Series X because I want my Xbox experience to be top notch. I want to replace my Xbox One X. I want the 4K UHD player for my movies, um, and I still love getting on there watching Netflix and the whole entertainment thing. I think that's what Xbox brings better.
Hmm.
So
Well, that didn't
that's
work
my
out for him
console.
with Xbox One.
Yeah, that's my console of choice. And PlayStation did their job of trying to sell an Xbox gamer of, hey, look, we're going to provide you with a cheaper console, because to help you out. But these games are amazing, and I think that's what we're going to see this cycle. I think Xbox will stay. Even though it's not really a console race anymore, I think PlayStation will probably run away after these conferences and sales.
Yeah,
Um,
that's where the interesting thing is going, because I hear everything you're saying. That's where the
yeah,
interesting thing is going to go. Like, okay, Game Pass, the best deal in gaming for sure, 100%. Um, but at the end of the day, I can only play true like gaming experiences on PlayStation. Like at the end of the day, Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part 2, God of War, these games are on
right,
PlayStation. Like Ratchet and
yeah,
Clank, like these are games that I will gladly go out and spend full price on. You know what I mean?
right.
So it's weird. It's such a weird
It is.
thing to look into the future and see, like, oh yeah, Game Pass obviously is the new Netflix um of gaming. And it's like, of course everybody goes out and spends, or everybody has a Netflix subscription, you know what I mean? Um so it's so weird to look into the future and say, okay, Game Pass is obviously going to be a huge hit. Like it's going to be on TV, smart TVs eventually, where you can stream it from the xCloud. It'll be on. It's obviously going to be on your phones. I don't think it'll ever come to PlayStation. They're just not going to do that. Switch might eventually say, heck, why not? I mean, what the heck? People want to play it on the go machine as long as they're connected to Wi-Fi. Sure, you know, like yeah, they can play it on this. Whatever. That means they're selling
Well,
more Switches.
I will
Um,
say, we were growing up. Back to what you were saying, if Xbox does become just a brand, um, why wouldn't we see Xbox on PlayStation? Because when we were
oh,
growing up,
PlayStation not going to do it.
we never thought we'd see Sonic on a Nintendo system or a PlayStation or something.
I feel like
So
yeah, I feel like that
I
would
mean,
mean, I guess the same point for the Nintendo. It would sell more PlayStations, but like it just seems like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible, but then Xbox
I
just
mean,
basically becomes a subscription
they'll
service,
become
which
Sega.
is
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they'll kind of become like Sega. They'll just be like the publisher, a service, a brand. Um,
mhm.
and I mean, like I said, it's no knock on Microsoft because it's a genius move. I mean, it
Yeah,
is heartbreaking because we've grown up with generation after generation of console. Like we've seen
yeah,
every console generation, so it's been pretty awesome. And that's why after this showcase, it like completely has set a different tone for me. Of well, there's no point of comparing the Series X to the PlayStation. Yeah, it's more powerful. Yeah, the multiplats may look slightly better, but you can't go tit for tat anymore on games. I mean, you could do like Forza and GT, sure, but as far as
yeah.
like Gears of War blows Horizon out the water, you don't have that
Right.
fight no more because it's Sony brand and it's Sony
Mhm.
PlayStation. Sony's made it known they've sold hundreds of millions of consoles. Their races in the consoles, whereas Xbox has
Mhm.
sold combined what 100 to 200 million consoles of all their consoles
Yeah.
combined. So
It's
they've
weird.
got,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know.
it's weird,
It's
dude.
it's so weird. It's just so weird because I'm more hype and more excited for a PlayStation 5.
And,
Whereas
and
Xbox, I'm
in
just
all
like,
honesty,
cool, I'm part of that ecosystem, so I'm going to reap all the benefits. It's all good. Yeah, bring on Halo. If it sucks, whatever. I didn't pay money on it. I just got $15 a month, But
and
it's
the crazy thing as a big Xbox fan, and I'm still a fan of Xbox. I mean, I still get Ori, which to me, I mean, like I said, I don't play those other games on PlayStation. Ori's game of the year for me. I mean, that game looks
I don't know
amazing.
why they haven't acquired Moon Studios, but yeah, like
That game's amazing.
insane.
Cuphead, one of my favorite games of. I'm 33 years old. Cuphead is probably one of my favorite games of all time,
I loved it.
and we've
Yeah,
only done we've only done one playthrough.
yeah.
I mean, so it's
Well,
like,
one one playthrough is all we need.
yeah. So it's like, Xbox has, every beat hits people different. I mean, there's games I look at, I'm like, that game
Yeah, but
looks.
PlayStation
People
has those
play.
games too. Like PlayStation has those
They don't
those
have it
lesser
worthy.
known
They
games.
don't have Cuphead. I
Oh
mean,
no,
like,
obviously not. Not obviously not Cuphead or Ori, but they have those lesser known games that are still
oh
exclusive
yeah,
to their console. Like nobody talks about Neo, but that's a really good game. Like, and it's PlayStation only. Like nobody
and
talks
that's what
about, huh?
I think they both hit it on the head for what they want to do.
Yeah.
PlayStation
Oh yeah,
made
this
known,
is way different strategies going into this. So weird.
yeah, that's why it's the console war is over. I mean, you're gonna buy a Series
Well,
X.
PlayStation's going to win the console war.
Well, I
PlayStation's
mean,
going to win the war, but
to be honest,
Xbox is kind of like their head is so into the future, like that it's like, I mean, I don't
I
know.
would
I don't
I
think
wouldn't.
the it's so weird because I like see the strategy and I know it's going to work, but I still like I don't like it. It's so weird.
That,
I guess I like you said I'm just stuck in that mentality of consoles, but
and that's the crazy thing is like even me, I don't like it because one day the Xbox is going to be gone, like the console. I think. I mean, they're going to
yeah,
provide them to a certain extent, but PlayStation, I don't ever see them stopping. Like unless they see the money that Microsoft can bring in by not creating a console, and making all this money like Netflix does.
yeah,
Um,
oh yeah,
like they
and
just released
quantity over
their,
quality. Like I feel like that's what we're going to see from now on, just quantity over quality.
and as an Xbox gamer, that's kind of concerning when it comes to their exclusives because Halo, it did kind of put a bad taste because that was rumored to be a $500 million game. That's a
Yeah.
$500 million,
Mm-mm.
one of the most expensive games ever made. And when they showed the trailer, I'm like, what did they spend the money on?
Yeah, obviously this was the portion of the game where it opens up to this open world area. They did confirm that it will be like, I don't like there's that was midway through or something like that. It'll
Right,
probably do something similar to God of War did, whereas it's like super linear. You go through, and then I gotta know there's this huge open air world hub where you can spend some time in, and then you go back to the linear
right,
aspects, which is I love that kind of design.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so maybe before all that happens, maybe it's like really special effects driven, like cinematic, like blow your mind Halo story.
Right.
Um, Before all that, and they were just trying to convey like, hey, Halo's opening up again. Um, but it still didn't blow my mind. We still had texture pop-ins. This
And
is a
they
Series X.
did
Why am I getting texture pop-ins?
they did come out and say that this game will be the Halo for the next 10 years. Like they'll still make Halo
Yeah,
content. And like supposedly they're supposed to update
because
this game, the story.
they don't need to release a game. They got
Yeah.
Game Pass. Like
Yep.
releasing a game doesn't make a difference when you're already subscribed to the service and you're going to get the
Yep.
game. So they're just going to almost like a live service type thing. It's just update it like that. I mean, I guess that's cool. Um, I just feel like
It's
it
sad.
just it seems weird,
It's
huh?
sad for the console race. Like
Yeah,
that's what you're trying to say.
yeah, I guess so, man.
The
But
good
I'm
old days of gaming is kind
yeah.
of shifted.
It's weird though because even with all of that in my mind, but I guess I'm already part of the ecosystem, so I'm fine. But even with all of that in my mind, I'm still like I'm more excited for PlayStation 5. And I've been kind of well, I can't even say that. I played 360. That was my main console. And then for this generation, the Xbox One was sitting as my main console just coming off the 360. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm obviously jumping into the Xbox One because that's where I've been at with 360.
Right.
Um, what a mistake. It seems like PS4, like my Xbox One is now the machine that I just turn on to watch Netflix. But guess what? I've discovered PlayStation 4 has that too. I didn't discover it, but I'm just saying like PlayStation 4 has Netflix. I can just watch it there. I don't need to keep swapping my machines. And eventually, near the end of this console race, I am like, PlayStation 4 is so much better. Like the UI is so much better. The the games, obviously. Software sells the hardware, man, as Miyamoto would say. But That's where you go. That's where you go with Game Pass. Obviously, their big software is the killer app for Game Pass. It's
Yeah.
such a weird thing, man. It's such a weird thing.
It
PlayStation
is a
4
weird thing.
obviously is where I'm more than willing to spend $60, or I guess now $70, but I'm going to be willing to spend that on these once in a generation experiences that I'm only like, dude, you're missing out. Like, you missed out on Last of Us. You missed out on Spider-Man, which is not even a masterpiece, but it's such a fun game. You missed out on so much, dude. God of War, dude. I'd pay $60 to play it again, and I own it. Like, it's right there in my library. I'd pay
Yeah.
somebody to play it, but it's I don't know, man. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about these games that I can only get with like big
Yeah.
budget, huge, and then yeah, I mean obviously the smaller titles is what Game Pass shines with, but yeah, man, I don't know. It's such an interesting situation with Game Pass and versus the console. It's basically ecosystem versus console right now.
Right.
Like or yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Game Pass versus machine.
I think I I love my Xbox. I think when we see what if when we see the Series X with its top, first party game, it's going to be Gears 6, which would be, you know,
Yeah.
whenever, year 2, 3 years down the road. But that's when I think you'll see a big heavy hitter from Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
The medium's going to be great. It'll probably be really good.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably get people to sign up for. I mean, let's be honest, horror games aren't really my thing. But for $9.99 a month, hey, guess what? I'm playing
Oh,
it.
you'll
I'm
enjoy it.
playing it.
You like horror. You like horror movies, so you'll.
You know, so it is interesting. It's like you said, quantity over quality, and that's not saying the quality of
I can't
Xbox
even.
games
Yeah, I guess you can't really
poor.
say that because the
It's
medium
it's
looks really good
just
quality.
yeah, like they're gonna be great games, but they're not gonna, like you said. You got okay. Here's how the best way to put it. Xbox has a lot of good and great games. PlayStation has way more once in a
Excellent to
lifetime games.
masterpiece. Like it's just.
Yeah, like you said, once in a generation game. Whereas the Xbox, you're gonna play it on the console, now your phone. You're just gonna keep playing it
Yeah.
all the time, and you're gonna keep playing game after game after game after game. Whereas PlayStation, you're gonna go play The Last of Us or Final Fantasy or something like that, and you're gonna go replay it again, and then you'll probably put it down and you'll
Mm.
move on to another good game from them.
Yeah.
Whereas with Xbox, and that's why I'm giving their showcase an A, because they've proven like, hey, if you come over, give us your $9.99. Here's some really cool games that are coming out that are already here. Here's some really cool games that are coming out at launch. Oh, and guess what? We're not abandoning you 1 to 2 years down the road. These games are coming and they showed off a whole genre of games. So
Yeah.
they sold their ecosystem
They
without
sold the
gameplay.
ecosystem for sure.
Whereas, and they didn't need gameplay to do that. And that's why I give them a break on that. Whereas PlayStation said, we want you to buy the Sony PlayStation 5, and here's why. So come November, we want your money. And to me, they sold it. If you're a PlayStation gamer, you're extremely excited right now.
Yeah.
As an Xbox gamer, I'm intrigued because the way Ratchet and Clank look, the Sackboy, like I like those games. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe the big masterpiece games of the
Yeah.
third party or whatever, or third uh,
Even the dual
adventure
sense,
game.
man. I can't even I can't stress that enough. Like the controller is innovative, whereas the Xbox controller is just a controller that we've been using since the beginning of consoles. Like is there's
See,
nothing.
there's
I
nothing
guess they
wrong with
improved
that.
latency and stuff, but huh?
There's nothing wrong with that though.
There's nothing wrong with
You
it,
know,
but
it's yet
yeah,
to be seen
I
if
guess there is something wrong.
I mean, it's yet to be seen if it really makes that big of a difference. I mean, people thought the Wiimotes were going to be the most revolutionary thing. They were stupid. So
I don't know about. I don't
I
know.
want
You
to
can't
hold.
argue that. I can't argue
When I
that.
play, I want to hold a controller,
Yeah, a
and I
lot of
just want to
people
play.
like I would make that argument with like Connect or like the PlayStation Eye. I wouldn't make
Okay,
that with the Wii. The Wii Mode went
well,
on to like revolutionize.
I hated it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
You know,
obviously, if you're a hardcore gamer, you didn't really care about the Wii, but
what's that thing called on PlayStation where you can move the controller, and that's
oh,
to
the
me
six
that's
axis.
boring. I
Yeah,
don't
six axis,
do
right?
that. I just want to sit down and play my video game.
But it's
so
there. It's
it's
there.
there,
It's
but
weird. I
do
loved
I
it. Like I was
care?
playing Last of Us, my flashlight started to die, and you have to go to get the batteries that like get my flashlight to come back on. I liked it. Whatever. It's not like a big deal. When I played like a tape recorder, it came through my controller. I'm like, this is tight. I like that. Playing Ghost, when the wind blows, the blows through my microphone or the speaker on my controller. I like. I was like, I was like, that's kind of cool, man. If I start
Kind of
getting
cool.
hurt, the little light bar flashes red. I'm like, oh
Oh, I
snap,
agree.
I'm hurt.
PlayStation did enough, and they even changed the entire look of their brand for that console. Like when they revealed that console, that does not look like a Sony console. Like 100% Sony. Like it when you look at it, it does kind of mix the generations together and
That
give it a
PlayStation
future look.
3 like
Yeah,
ish,
but it
yeah,
doesn't. It doesn't look like. Maybe it's just the white really throws it off.
yeah.
Because I associate white with Xbox brand. But maybe it was seeing that white. It was like PlayStation going for something different. Like they're. So
Mhm.
yeah, I agree. The dual sense, it's awesome.
Everything,
Um,
yeah.
so they sold their brand and their console, and I think Microsoft sold their brand, but proved that the Series X is there, but it's not the top priority for them.
That makes sense, man. They sold their Game Pass and
Their
basically
game, yeah,
saying like, here's the promise. You know what I mean? Here's
yeah.
the promise. Here's yeah, Game Pass. If you want to play
That's
Xbox, just get an Xbox, any console you want, and get in our ecosystem. Play it on your phone. Do what you got to do. Interesting, man. So
that's why I said I couldn't wait to do this podcast because I knew it would be a lot of rambling and stuff. But
yeah,
it's a different. You got to explain it the best you can because it's not
yeah,
it's not PlayStation 5 versus the Series X anymore. It's really not. They're even though the Series X is the more powerful, and I mean they can talk about it all they want. eh, It's not against the PS5. It's here. Hey, hardcore gamer, this is for you. But we're not trying to uh, bring anyone over from PlayStation, or they're not even honestly trying to get somebody on the fence to buy the Series X. They just want you to buy an Xbox.
just you get Game
They don't
Pass.
care. Yeah, they want you to either buy an Xbox or just if you want the console experience,
Mhm.
or play it on your phone. Like they don't care, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a
Yeah,
knock on them. It's their business strategy. So I think they're
yeah,
doing a great job at it.
yeah. I
Because
mean,
I think
yeah,
if you took away, say you took away the Xbox console, and say Phil came out and said, "Hey, we're 100% Xbox brand. We're no longer making Xbox console. Sony's agreed to let you use our controller." Like,
yeah.
just say they came out and did that. I'd even have a different view on it because it's like, well, I don't want to play it right now on a PlayStation. Like, I want to
Mhm.
play it on a dedicated
It's
because that's where I'm at.
easing us in. They're easing us into this future where it's just going to be
That's
wherever you can play it, like
so.
Netflix.
When did this rumor come out? Was it 2018 or 19 where they were talking about Game Pass may end up on PlayStation and Switch, and it really looked like it was going to end up on Switch for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look,
That rubbed
Phil.
me. That rubbed me the wrong way. Then,
Yeah,
if they were to come out tomorrow and say it's going on the Switch or PlayStation, it's weird because now they've kind of sold me on it. Like I'm ready for it. I
mm,
wasn't ready then when I heard it because it was like, well, hold on, I'm still defending the Xbox console. Now I'm kind of like the Xbox console is what it is. Like it's
yeah.
weird, man.
Place to play the games if you want to play in the best quality. But hey, you can play them anywhere you want.
That's right.
Um, yeah. So it's interesting. They're easing us into this future where it's just going to be Netflix style gaming, which is going to suck because then you're going to start getting EA who says, "Oh, here's our subscription. Here's our Game Pass." Then Ubisoft already has their Game Pass with UPlay, not full on yet. Um, everybody, then you're going to be sitting here just like we do with TV, where you're going to have like 100 different streaming services that you have to pay monthly for.
It's worth a few
Um,
bucks.
yeah, it's
Sometimes
worth
not
it.
so good, but
Yeah.
I think once Sony starts feeling the effect of they can't make
Yeah.
money on their games, they'll start pumping money into
Oh yeah, you're 100% right there. They're making so much money on their games. They
yeah,
don't need to do this until they stop. Like we're until people are like, oh, I all
yeah.
Game Pass is all I need, and then I'm not buying a PlayStation game, which I
I
don't know.
I think if this race between Xbox One and PS4 was say neck and neck like the 360 and the PS3 was, you'd probably see a totally different approach by Sony. They'd probably
Yeah,
be PlayStation Game Pass, you know what I mean? But they don't care because they're selling 120 million consoles. Last of Us comes out, they're selling
yeah,
millions of copies of the game.
tons. Hmm.
Whereas, and that's why it goes back to my point of if they would have made Halo a Series X exclusive, what are you going to sell? At max, 10 million copies at max, because that's how many consoles you have. So if every person bought the game,
Hmm.
so yeah. Whereas, if you release, God of War, Last of Us, or whatever, you're going to sell, God, at least 50% of your console base. You're going to sell it and make copies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Those are weird numbers, but I'm just
No, I know
thinking
what
about.
you mean. Yeah, yeah. There's yeah. Well, Andrew, all
Yeah,
of
man.
that is interesting. That's interesting. I don't even know where to go with it. Like we've been just going back and forth. In my mind, I'm literally just going back like, yep, Game Pass is a great thing. Like it's amazing. I have really nothing bad to say about it. But in
We
my,
have li-
I
we have
literally
literally
have nothing bad to say about Game Pass. But and then on the other side of things, I'm just like, man, I really love like just exclusives,
yeah.
big AAA games that PlayStation is providing. So I don't know, man. I'm just like I'm
So again, both
confused.
again both companies did their job. You have Game Pass,
And then
and
you
you own a. So both companies sold you on exactly just like a
um,
Nintendo.
yeah, I'm
You
pretty sure this holiday, after watching these game showcases, this holiday I'm buying a PlayStation 5 and I'll play Halo Infinite on my One X because I swear, I think my One X can handle that Halo Infinite. Come on. It just won't
and
load faster. You just have to wait for me to join your co op game, which they didn't show,
yeah, well,
which they should have gone split screen and said, which would have been I feel like that would have made a big pop on the internet too. Like, oh, thank God, split screen's back because Halo 5 didn't have it. Um, so like, I think they should have showed a split screen co-op, but that's just me. But yeah, I mean, you just have to wait for me to load into your game. I'll be there, be
that's
on the
fine.
One X. But anyways, man, as far as game showcases go, PlayStation 5 just the best. Like the most hype. Xbox game showcase. Hey, glad you got
We
games
got
coming.
yep. I mean, I agree. I agree.
Glad you got games coming. That's it. All right, Holmes. That will wrap up this podcast. Unless you have something you want to say, a little closing
Oh,
thought.
I was just gonna say the whole ending of this podcast turned into us just talking like we always do. So
That's what I
nobody,
want this. That's what I want the
nobody
podcast to be. That's what I want the podcast. We're just gonna start just talking. It doesn't matter about. I might have a structure. Just like this is what we want to talk about. Stick with us.
yeah. But see, I do want to. You made a really good point at the end of your closing speech where you said, "I'll have to wait for you to load into my game."
Yeah.
That's exactly what Xbox is for, to play with others, multiple games, and have a great time. And you'll just play by yourself on the PlayStation.
Well, the PlayStation,
Amazing game.
I always play by myself on the PlayStation because it's
Exactly.
because none of my friends are on it. but, but if my friends were on PlayStation, I feel like we'd be playing PlayStation all the time. I
So
mean, except for when the One X
in
came out.
closing, all three companies are still alive and well, and neither one of them looks like they're going
Well,
anywhere.
well, Nintendo better release something soon. Well, that's another. That's
They don't
another.
need.
Yeah, Animal Crossing is good enough, apparently.
they could remaster Mario, that's enough for Nintendo fans.
I'm waiting for that to be on. I want to
Yeah,
play I
I'm
want to
not
play
hating.
Galaxy on my Switch, man. Let's go.
Didn't they just give y'all Donkey Kong? Hello.
That was a long time ago, bro. Oh wait, oh you mean like the Super Nintendo? Hey yo, hello. Big announcement,
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. If I had a Switch, I'd be playing Donkey Kong.
which is actually it's actually a big deal because I'm sure Microsoft had to have given them permission to put that on there, but this is a rare game. So, anyways, man, Andrew, that's
That was a
that's
great conversation.
this is good conversation, man. At the end of the day, the Xbox Games Showcase just wasn't for me. It's Trailer Fest, not good. At the end of the day, I'm still going to have Game Pass.
That's right.
So it doesn't matter. They could have tweeted that out.
If you wouldn't have seen it, you'd still have Game Pass.
Yeah, even if I wouldn't have seen it, I'm still in Game Pass. Thanks, Xbox.
Well, I bet you what. I bet you.
I
I
bet
bet you somebody out there who watched it is now a subscriber to Game Pass, or is planning to get an Xbox.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So they did.
I agree. They did. I mean, I watch. I'm going to end it with. I watch a lot of Kind of Funny, and Greg Miller is like the most PlayStation biased dude you'd ever see. And then he just tweeted out. He said, "Okay, Xbox," and then like he posted his little receipt of Game Pass Ultimate for $1.
Yep.
And there it is. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So got him.
Got him.
He can be one when the Xbox announces their numbers and goes, "Hey, we got 40 million people subscribed to Game Pass." They got him.
They got him. They got the biggest PlayStation fanboy of all time
That's right.
to the Xbox ecosystem. I mean, that's a pretty big accomplishment. I'm not gonna lie. What do you? I mean, everybody's gonna have Game Pass. I don't know.
It is.
But I don't know. I feel like I don't know. We're gonna keep going back and forth here. We're gonna keep going.
Because what's going to happen now? Let me tell you what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's get. God, I can't even think of somebody who games that doesn't even own an Xbox, like with their PlayStation. At least my friends wise. But let's just say somebody who owns a PlayStation and that's their console. They refuse to put a Microsoft device in their house. Guess what they're going to be playing on their phone when they're taking a dump? Xbox Game Pass.
Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, they're gonna
Got
be
'em.
playing. Got him, dude. Got him. Got your money. God dang
That's
it.
right.
God dang
Yeah,
it.
they got 'em.
It works. Game Pass is
It
going to
works.
be. It's going to be super successful. It's already super successful.
Yeah. Without gameplay.
Without any gameplay.
I told you I'd have a great debate on why it didn't matter.
I mean, look, man, you're right. It still doesn't change the fact that the game showcase sucked, but I'm still in the Game Pass ecosystem, so there you go.
And that's what I said. I didn't rate like it's how what are you doing? Like are you rating it on if you were entertained or if you just rating it on how they did their job? Because that's how I'm rating it on how both companies did their job.
I don't even think I don't even think the game showcase. I mean, I guess it might have sold Game Pass, but like it didn't. I guess it did its job. I don't know. I wasn't entertained, and I wasn't hyped.
What really made me even just have a total different train of thought when I rewatched it is they said and highlighted and showed Game Pass across the screen more than they referenced the Series X.
So, this is true.
They showed the Series X at the very beginning of it expanding and showing the insides of it. After that, Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Every game's coming to Game Pass. Play it better on the Series X.
Hey, if you want, play
Game
play
Pass. Day one. All these games that you see today, Game Pass.
I'm really looking forward to next month where we can see hardware because I think next month we're getting prices, we're getting release dates, we're getting hardware, like UI and all the other technical good stuff. So that's what I'm most looking forward to. I want to see the machines now. The game time for games apparently is that was our showcases. So obviously PlayStation had a better game showcase, but I'm looking forward to seeing the consoles now because I feel like Xbox has a better console. So we'll see.
We shall see.
We shall see. Andrew, it has been a pleasure to talk with you about these next gen consoles, and yeah, man, I'm looking forward to
Next
the
gen
next podcast
console and services.
and services. All right.
That's how I'm gonna approach every conversation now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be about Game Pass.
Next gen consoles and services.
And you know what's wild? One more thing.
What? And there's one more thing.
Nobody's watching this video until the end. But what I was gonna say is, unless they like comedy and they like to have a good time, then you're still here watching.
Hey man, if you're enjoying our conversation, that's cool.
Remember when they first, what was this, 2016, whenever they very first started talking about Game Pass? We thought it was the dumbest thing in the world, and it got on my nerves so much hearing them talk about Game Pass. And now look, they have drilled it into our minds where we're like, Game Pass?
Game Pass.
That's gaming. I have to have that. Great job, Phil.
Yo, great job, Phil. All right, guys. This has been Game Night. I'm Daniel Huffledge. Andrew Huffledge in the party chat.